Why be easy when you can just die?
Well, I'm Chewy Mew, and welcome to my channel, but more specifically, welcome to another Chewy Mew video, where today, we're going to be taking a look again at the ToyBiz Marvel Legends Urban Legends box set. That box set includes the Punisher, Daredevil, Elektra, and Spider-Man. Focus the camera on there. You can see there's a little bit of extra plastic inside of the hole on his foot. So he actually doesn't fit on a display base. You'd have to probably cut that out. That might just be an issue with this one. I don't think it's an issue with them as a whole. Maybe it is. I don't know. Fabric coat. And there's sort of like a dirty kind of gunmetal gray color belt there. Really good detail there. But let's take a look at the head sculpt here first. So pretty much all I know about Punisher is that that he kills people that commit crimes. He murders them in sometimes horrible ways. And in this case, they decide to be a little bit kid-friendly. Instead of giving him like a gun and crazy stuff, they just give him a bazooka here. But here's the head sculpt. I do like this one. Come on, focus. I do think it looks cool. It's a very much yelling, very crazy-looking face. His eyes look derpy. They look like they're kind of looking up, but to me that's not like an issue. It kind of looks more like he's just like angry, like he's looking up like, yeah, I'm pointing at you on that building over there. I'm gonna destroy you. You know, that kind of thing. The hair here, you have some like messed up hair. It looks like this head. One thing I really like that ToyBiz did that I think Hasbro did better than ToyBiz is that a lot of these figures, like you could probably pop his head off there and switch it with the other one. That it's like, this is like during the fight. This is like battle ravaged Punisher, and then his normal head sculpt, that's like he's like getting ready, and this is like he's mid battle, like just they're beating the crap out of him, but he's fighting back too. You can see with like his 5 o'clock shadow there. Come on, why doesn't it focus on his face, dude? Let me film with the coat out of the way. I think it's focusing on his coat. Come on. Oh, maybe his face is just blurry. Maybe it's me. But yeah, it's 5 o'clock shadow there. Very white teeth there. Looks like he's missing a tooth right there. That's actually really cool attention to detail. Missing a tooth there. Kind of pinkish lips. Scratch right there on his face. Scratch there. He has like a bump on his forehead. That's actually not paint wear. It actually looks like that. Like there's like a little red dot. There's some forehead wrinkles. His hair is all messed up. The back of the head here has like some blue shading or blue wash. I always say shading when most people call it wash. Some blue there. It's mostly black with like some blues washed in there. Let's unsleeve one of his arms. It's also in very, very good condition. The person who sold this to me, I guess they didn't play with this. I'm pretty sure they just displayed this. They didn't play around with it. But here's the coat. You can see through it a little bit. You can see through it. It's a thin fabric. It's not stretchy, but it does look really good. It does look like a trench coat. It's obviously not on par with something like Mezco or, you know, Hot Toys, stuff like they do like that. But also you have to keep in mind, this was $10, and this was made by a company that this would be like this was an accessory. It wasn't so much like, yes, the coat is part of it. Punisher, you could kind of take it off and it still works. He does look a little bit bare bones without his coat though. A lot of blue wash, like his costume is black, but there's like some blue wash in here. You can see his muscles popping out. See fabric stretching. I always love when ToyBiz would do this. When on figures, they would have like fabric stretching. You can see the muscles, they're pulling the fabric like here on his back. It looks like the fabric is stretching on there. Very good detail on his arms too. Also has some wash. Since his costume is black, it's hard to tell. If I turn on the flash, it gets kind of shiny looking. On the skull here too, it's not just a flat white. There's like some dark gray shading here and there. Does the camera look blurry, or am I just crazy? Because to me, it feels like it looks blurry. I love the Punisher skull, kind of the creepy eyes, the nostrils there, and the teeth. The teeth, unfortunately, because they're 3D, because they're sculpted and they're popping out, he doesn't have an ab crunch, which, I mean, I guess that's an issue, but to me that's kind of fine. It's okay, because Punisher doesn't feel like the kind of character that would be in some kind of crazy, like, hunched over pose. Feels kind of more like he'd be standing up kind of stoic, holding his weapon in one hand, like,
I'm gonna shoot you in the face, you freak.
You know, this arm is a little bit loose here. You can see the gun hand with, like, the trigger finger there. If you take his bazooka, which it comes with one, you can kind of, we're getting it. Boom, here we go. Like, yeah, you can kind of get them like that. I think, kind of a pose that I would think is Oops, there's like some fabric. There's like plastic sticking out right there. Just have him in some kind of pose like this. One knee down, one knee up. He's kind of like holding the bazooka like this, ready to just shoot people like... The gloves are very much glossy. I love how his boots and his gloves are glossy. The rest of him is kind of matte. All the little buttons, or all the little like pouches on his belt here. They're all sculpted. All of this detail you see, that's not paint. That's actually... They sculpted that and then they put paint wash over it. Looks very dark and gritty. I love the look of it. Looks very much like a dark and gritty guy. They even put pockets on his butt here. You can even see the little gap there, the line going in between the butt, the fabric, wrinkles here. More wrinkles there on the groin and stuff. You can even see, looks like little straps on the pants there. A ton of wrinkles here all over the costume because it's not... I like that he's not wearing a skin-tight costume. Well, his upper costume does look a little bit skin tight, but his pants are very much baggy, like military pants. They're not very skin tight, you know, like Daredevil or Spider-Man's. They're very much like you can't really make out the muscles on his legs either because how the pants are that he's just like wearing just kind of combat pants. He's not wearing, well, you know, he's not trying to do acrobatics and stuff. There's like fabric or plastic sticking out here, which unless you take off the coat, you're probably never going to notice. Now, that's just like a QC thing. It might just be this figure. Sometimes that happens with ToyBiz figures. Some more pouches here. These ones are much more glossy black compared to the top ones here being more matte. They're matte with a little touch of silver on the belt right there. More pouches there. The knee pads even have some wear and tear on them too. They're black with like a little bit of like he's kind of been dragged on the ground. You can see this knee pad has some of the black paint worn off. It looks like it's just turn that off actually. It looks like his the pad is like it's like silver, but it has like the paint wear, so you can see some of the silver paint underneath it, like it's chipping off. More details on the boots. He has 3 straps on his boot, and then has a 4th one on the shoe part of the boot. Really cool. Really love the detail on this. This is really, really cool. Also, another thing that helps this figure even more to me, gives it more cool points, is that I'm so used to looking at Spider-Man figures. And, nothing against Spider-Man, but those characters, they don't look realistic, you know? They don't look like they're wearing, you know, actual real-world kind of clothes. You know, like Green Goblin, his costume looks very much like a crazy supervillain kind of thing, whereas Punisher, he looked just like a regular dude, equipped himself in sort of like military-style gear, you know, like a tight upper shirt, big kind of like, I would assume these would be like tactical gloves here, tactical boots, knee pads, buckles everywhere for bullets and weapons and stuff like that. You know, probably a little bit bulky. You know, since he doesn't have the ab crunch, it kind of feels like he's not going to be giving him crazy like acrobatic maneuver poses like you would Spider-Man or, you know, the other characters in the box set. He wouldn't be doing this kind of stuff. He's just more like a running gun and kind of a little bit parkour kind of guy. But he's not going to be, you know, like backflipping, dodging bullets like Spider-Man will, you know. Kind of more hand-to-hand dude rather than, you know, aerial maneuvers and stuff like that. All of his muscles, all the detail on his body, and then just the mouth. Like, you know, same thing with Elektra and Spider-Man. It doesn't look like a very realistic costume that someone would be, you know, running around in. But Punisher, put the lab coat on, this looks phenomenal. Shoot a truck out of the air. Alright, shoot a truck out of the air. Like, shoot like a helicopter out of the air or something, you know? Some goons are getting away. To me, that looks phenomenal. That's a really good looking figure. This is like ToyBiz kind of at their best. Making a sort of very realistic looking kind of human costume. But let's go over his articulation. The head looks down all the way. He does have like a tilt side to side. I thought he had a rotation on the neck. He doesn't, but he does have a ball jointed head here. He doesn't really look... Oh, actually, never mind. He does look up a bit. You can pop his head off, though, so keep that in mind. There we go. Oh, also, that's kind of an issue here, too, that you can't swap his head on other figures, because some ToyBiz figures have, like, a ball head like this, where the head has the ball pin on it, or other ones have the head like this. Stick that on there. He does have a rotation here in the waist. It's pretty tight there, but you probably could move it all the way around. It does feel like he has, like, a slight, like, a kind of a, it's hard to tell, but he has, like, a slight, it kind of pivots here. You can hear that? Kind of pivots, but it's not going to do too much for you. The arms go all the way around. They go all the way, even if they go all the way around, they don't really mess with the jacket too much. The arms go up all the way. Do they actually? Yeah, they do. The coat does block that. Oops. His arms rotated the other way around. Oops. Yeah, sometimes figures, their arms only go up all the way in a certain position. They go up all the way. Double bend in the elbow. Rotation here in his upper arm. Rotation here in the glove. A hinge in the wrist. You can bend the fingers back and in. And like I said, you can make a fist. The fist looks really good on him. You can have like the open hand for the gun. It looks more like he's kind of reaching a little bit. The legs kick up all the way. He can do the splits. Not the best looking splits, not the nicest looking legs, but to me, that's kind of fine. It's kind of like how DC would make some toys where they have like these kind of weird splits right here. To me, that looks kind of fine, and if you have him in poses, it's not that big of a deal. Rotation here in his thigh, double bend in the knee, rotation here in his boot, the foot goes forward and back, the toe bends up. It's not the most movement here, but it's like he's wearing combat boots. He's not going to have the crazy posability like Spider-Man. And he does have the ankle rocker, which, I mean, it's not, it does get the job done. It's not super crazy good, but it's pretty good. But yeah, so, yeah, I think this figure's just awesome. Oh, we didn't talk about his bazooka either. It's this kind of green color. It's a very, kind of, military-looking green, like army green. You can see the little open hole there, and that's where, I guess that's where you, oops, it goes like this. No, it goes like that. That's the front, that's the back, little rail-looking thing here. And I guess that's the little, like, sightseeing thing, so you can kind of line it up and do the pew-pew. The gun handle there. It's all this green color, but you see some parts here that are worn out. It looks like, again, like his knee pads, this is like a silver color with green paint. It's kind of fading off. You can see on the handle from all the use. There's like on the barrel, like little circle things here. It's all worn out. Looks very, very cool. But that one says made in China. And this one says, I can't even see it. It's too dark. 2003 Marvel Entertainment. Oh, so this box set is officially 2003. Punisher is like, you attack that person, I'm gonna blow your brains out with a machine gun, you know, kind of thing. But, a really, really awesome figure. Don't know much about the character too much, but I love the figure. It's really awesome. But either way, that's all for this video. I will see you guys in the next one. Actually, no, he's not getting a whack. He's that good. Bye, guys.